Let's move on to question number two. My granddaughter, who I homeschool, is in sixth grade and has selective mutism. What are some ways I can help her find and make friends?
Great question. There's a lot here, and I've gotten this question before, which is one of the reasons we're taking this question. Well, a few things that I'm thinking about. I'm going to assume when you're homeschooled, there are opportunities other than just you and her or her working on her schoolwork. There needs to be social communication opportunities with similar age peers. That has to be. So every now and then I hear, "Oh, I hear you're against homeschooling, Dr. E." And I go, "No, no, 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 no. I am not against homeschooling. I'm all about it. However, what I am against is lack of social communication opportunities." If you're thinking about most children that go to school, they're having opportunities throughout the entire day of interacting, not just non-verbally, but verbally with other children. Because she is preteen and teen, there's opportunities for conversation, dialogue, debating, kind of abstract language, talking about different challenges, describing books, being able to give your ideas and thoughts to a question that's asked, opportunities for play, conflict resolution. There's so many opportunities to communicate. And if you are homeschooled and you don't have that opportunity, that's going to cause you to be not as confident. So I'm going to assume this family has these opportunities, but maybe they're looking for additional opportunities to kind of connect her with more peers. The number one thing that we need to think about is interest. As children age, they find their friends, they find their peers. As I say, they find their peeps through their high areas of interest, just like an adult. If I'm going to want to meet new people, I'm going to be engaged in an activity that I enjoy, whether it's tennis or pickleball or it's chess or art. It's got to be over the areas of interest. So that's what I would say. As far as locating that, one, you can contact the public school and see what opportunities there are. There are community centers that have different activities, maybe a YMCA. Religious groups have different social opportunities and clubs and activities. If she enjoys sports or she enjoys art or she enjoys whatever that might be. Now, what I have done with some families is if your child has an interest that you can do in your home, I'm going to give you an example. One, baking. I had a preteen girl or teenage girl. She was about 14, 15. She loved to bake. They were able to find some other similar age children that also enjoyed baking. So they used exposures to go out and about to a store, picking up the different items. Each time they did this once a week, they always had a different recipe and they would go out and buy the different aspects to that recipe. So that was an exposure. Sometimes they went out with the peers to buy the ingredients needed, came home. This particular child did really well with a write and read or read. So she would read the recipe and that helped her build her confidence in verbal communication, but also helped her build connections. So that's a wonderful way to find peers, just having activities at your own home, because many of our kids have a lot of sensitivities. They may be overwhelmed in loud, large, lots of people environments, especially when they don't know people as well. So having activities in small groups, clubs, activities, either in your home or other out and about activities where there are few individuals present. Again, it could be any interest. I had a boy that loved playing chess. So they had chess opportunities. I had a boy that loved to juggle. He formed a juggling club. And because he really enjoyed juggling and he was good at juggling, that was a big shot role for him. You need the opportunity. And it's going to be over something to talk about. It's going to be something to communicate about, something to engage with. You start having jokes and people start laughing and personality comes out. Now, for a child that's mute, completely mute, it may need to be parent facilitated or adult facilitated to help that along. But to find the friends, to develop the relationships, you need areas of interest. An example was a teenager who enjoyed rock climbing. So they went to a local rock climbing location. They practiced rock climbing. He built his skills. Then they put a notice up in the rock climbing place to say anybody interested in rock climbing, they met at a certain time. So 3 or 4 kids ended up meeting similarly aged, which was interesting because they
Small
put like
group.
an age range. And through the rock climbing, they became friends. They laughed, they joked. They didn't even necessarily talk in the beginning too much, but there was a connection. And for many teenagers, once you're in a situation, they may become verbal. But in addition to that, then they had lunch afterwards or they went out for ice cream afterwards. So the parent may facilitate, hey, let's go for ice cream. And so
Mm.
all of a sudden, you have these opportunities where if this child has appropriate social skills, and that's not a challenge, that once they're comfortable, the connection is there and they are either able to communicate or strategies are used to help with communication, the children find their friends. That's how they find their friends.